Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So awesome news, The Rock finally confirmed that they're going to do Black Adam 2 movies. I'm going to explain what's going on and why he is going to help save the DC universe along with The Flash. He had this big meeting at DC Comics that he was teasing the producers that are on the project right now, just hyping things up, saying how they are going to bring fun to the DC universe. Now that's in addition to what's going on with Justice League, the Flash movie, Aquaman, so I'll explain all that. So there's this long history of Shazam in the comics that's a little confusing, so I'll give a brief introduction on the character too. But there's a new round of the Flash ring giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video. So we gotta talk about how The Rock and the Flash are going to save the DCEU. I feel like Batman will too, but he's more of a known quantity. I feel like it's a lot easier for characters you're not totally familiar with to surprise you. And that's really where The Rock comes in. And everyone's just been saying how awesome the Flash is, so we'll explain all this. Number 5, what is going on with the Shazam movie? So originally, it was going to be a Shazam movie back around 2014. The Rock was brought on. He was like, oh hell yeah, I'm going to bring it. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to kick so much ass. So everything was good, but that was during the original DCEU release schedule. Since then, that schedule has changed quite a bit. So what they're doing now is they're going to do 2 movies set in the Shazam group of characters, and one of them will just be a total Black Adam movie. So The Rock is just getting his own spin-off movie, and the other movie will presumably just focus more on the Billy Batson character with Black Adam in it. So number 4, why are they doing this? Why are they splitting it into 2 movies? Well, this is a really good idea, I think, just because there are so many Shazam characters. They're all DC characters, but the Shazam family is so big and so complicated, and the backstory is so crazy that I think they just need some more time to flesh that out. And you get more movies, you get more time to develop the characters. It winds up sidestepping that problem where you try to stuff too many characters into a movie. So they haven't officially announced a release date, but originally that Shazam movie was set to come April 5th, 2019. They might just fast-track the Black Adam movie because they haven't cast the Billy Batson character yet, but they do have The Rock, and the DC universe definitely needs The Rock right now, way more than The Rock needs the DC universe. This is where we get to the idea of The Rock saving the DCEU, not single-handedly, because there's a couple really big things that are happening in the next couple years that I think will just completely turn people around that aren't really big fans of what's going on right now. So the Wonder Woman movie, Justice League are all big steps in the right direction. I think they'll be great, but someone like The Rock who just oozes charisma and is a PR machine is just so good at getting people into theaters. Think about what he did for the Fast and Furious franchise. Those were entertaining movies, but when he came on board with that 5th one, that's when it really started to go crazy. That is a multi-billion-dollar franchise, and even though I think the DC movies are way, way better than the Fast and Furious movies, but The Rock is just one of those people who is just so great at playing that alpha male character, and that is so much what Black Adam is. So if you're not familiar with his backstory, he was the original Shazam character who turned evil, then much, much later, the wizard Shazam created a new one, and that became Billy Batson, and he was the good one. They fought each other, they became mortal enemies. But if you're a little confused, or you haven't read comics in a while, or you still think that the character is called Captain Marvel, what happened is back in 2012, DC officially stopped using the Captain Marvel name, because Billy Batson, Captain Marvel, was what the character was originally called when he started at Fawcett Comics before DC bought the brand. So there's this great story about the history of that character. There's the Marvel family. Already it sounds like a big legal nightmare. So number 3, what happened way back in the early 1950s is that DC pressured Fawcett Comics to stop using the Captain Marvel character because he was a ripoff of Superman. Way later, DC bought those characters and started using them, but in that time, Marvel created their own Captain Marvel character and trademarked it. So Marvel owned the trademark even though Fawcett Comics created Captain Marvel before them. Because of that weird distinction, DC continued to use the Captain Marvel name all the way up until near 2012 when they officially just started calling Billy Batson Shazam, because most people behind the scenes just felt like you looked at him and you thought that he was Shazam anyway. But technically, it's the wizard Shazam in the Marvel family. So for all those that are wondering, that is why the character is no longer called Captain Marvel. It's a trademark issue. DC just doesn't want to get into some long legal battle with Marvel Comics. But number two, what they might do for the story of the movie is adapt a version of the New 52 origin story, which is a little bit simpler and it explains how you get the family, but they might just cut out the family. They might just use the Billy Batson character. During that origin story, you learn how the Black Adam character is very similar to Billy Batson. They both grew up in extreme tragedy. Black Adam escaped slavery. Billy Batson lost his parents. He's been on his own with these foster children for a while. You learn how Black Adam wasn't able to move past that childhood trauma.
Whoa!
Worry not. Black Adam cannot sense you here.
Who's Black Adam?
My gravest mistake. One for which today I will pay my penance. Millennia ago, I chose him to be this world's protector. He was entrusted with great powers, but his heart was corrupted by them. He fell victim to the same 7 deadly enemies of man that all must battle. I was forced to banish him to the farthest star in the sky. I spent the next 5,000 years making sure I would not repeat that error. I chose a new hero.
Who?
Why, you, of course. I've been watching you for some time, Billy, and now bestowed with the wisdom, strength, stamina, power, courage, and speed of the gods, you will become our new protector. You will become Captain Marvel.
So when he became all-powerful, he just became this crazy dictator trying to save people by sort of like crushing them under the burden of his freedom. So he thinks of himself as a hero, even though he's so extreme that he is definitely the antagonist. Billy Batson, on the other hand, learns to adjust, learns to be a hero, and actually defeats Black Adam by tricking him, not using force, just knowing that Black Adam is such a badass, there's no way he could ever beat him in a fight. Because Black Adam's about 5,000 years old, he tricks him into turning his powers off, and he basically turns to dust. So that's his end in the New 52. Obviously, the movies aren't going to kill him off that way so fast, but it's a relatively linear story where you learn about the 7 deadly sins, like all the backstory behind the Marvel family, how their powers work. So Shazam is actually an acronym for all the different gods whose powers they get, and they basically can call upon one power at a time. So there's stamina, swiftness, strength, wisdom, power, and courage. That's Black Adam's powers, so they can call upon those at any given time, which is how they're able to fight Superman. But because their powers come from magic, Superman is very weak against them, so usually you defeat Black Adam by tricking him somehow. Just because if you were to try to go pound for pound with him, look at The Rock here, he would beat you into a pile of jello. Imagine The Rock punching Henry Cavill as Superman with lightning fists. Like, it'd be so crazy. Which is why, number one, I feel like Wonder Woman and Superman would be great cameos in these Shazam Black Adam movies. Just because Wonder Woman comes from a very mystical place, Superman is one of the few characters that's as powerful, and he's this big influence on Billy Batson, because you have to remember that even though he becomes this adult when he activates his powers, he's still like an 11-year-old kid. So what a coincidence that the same week The Rock is meeting at DC to sort of figure his movie out, he's also hanging out with Henry Cavill. They also share the same management company. So there's all this stuff that's just pointing towards collaboration coming up. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And when The Rock posted this, that's basically what he was saying. This is one of the reasons why he's going to save the DCEU, because he can be hardcore, but a lot of fun at the same time. So that is where The Flash also comes in too. So I feel like the aesthetic of the DCU is totally on point. They did an amazing job with the look and feel, but some of the really fun characters just aren't there yet. Like Wonder Woman was barely in Batman v Superman. We haven't seen Justice League yet, so we haven't really got a lot of the Flash yet. So people like Aquaman too, like all these characters that are going to be so much fun just haven't quite arrived yet, which is why we're all waiting for the Justice League trailer. So I know everybody's still wondering when that's going to come. There's going to be some new Wonder Woman really soon because that movie's coming out in June. they'll probably drop some new Justice League relatively soon, but I'm not expecting a Super Bowl trailer. There might be some teaser around the Super Bowl, but I'd be very, very surprised. So let me know, what do you want them to do with Black Adam in the Justice League franchise? But I feel like they'll slowly have to introduce him in one of the Justice League movies. They've already shot the first one, so I feel like the second movie is actually a really good target for that. But he's just going to be such an awesome jolt of energy into the DCEU in the same way the Flash is for Justice League. I love the way that all the Justice League actors are saying their favorite character is the Flash in the Justice League movie. So I think everybody's going to be really happy with the way it all goes down. Let me know in the comments though, what kind of DC movie videos do you guys want me to do, or even for the TV stuff too. There'll be a lot of Flash TV stuff happening because it's coming back next week. But later today, I've got some new Logan movie posting. I'll be talking about the X-23 character, the future of Wolverine inside the Fox universe, so it's going to be a lot of fun. While you guys wait for that to post, you can click here for a new Flash trailer for next week's episode, and you can click here to rewatch the Injustice trailer. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.